Check, check.
I don't know where it's even came from.
What do you want?
Where are you working at?
It's very interesting.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw the video. Yeah, you were right on That'll leave a mark. So, but where were you?
Grammar? I was just doing it at home. I was falling an app.
Calisthenics.
Yep.
No, you call it.
No, that's
Really?
For what? Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Let's put that anywhere. It was me, my fault. That was messing with you.
Luckily, the Trump is all.
Yeah, you didn't. That was actually a good match.
That was really well.
That was a good match.
Yeah, it's how much is it?
I mean, I know part of this is
How's Andrew?
He's doing good. He's sharp.
Yeah,
He's helping me craft the growth of the business a little bit. He's like operational strategic. The door's open for him when we restructure the business like one-on-one.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think eventually.
He's just naturally smart. He's well.
Yeah. He reads a lot.
Yeah. So we complement each other real well. We actually have a good little dynamic going in the office. We don't mind challenging each other. It's productive. So yeah. I think he's got a good future. Well, it's 3 now. We're hiring a 4th. Part-time sales rep. That's going to start next week, I think. I'm just going to be in control. I think we'll probably get about 6 by the beginning of the year when we restructure. Yeah, so I don't want to go too fast. I want to make sure that we can.
Looking for anyone?
What's that?
Looking for any role?
Sales development rep. So what I'm hiring now, I already know. I work with the rack space.
Too far away from that.
she's gonna start part-time, 3 days a week. She's transitioning, she's so sales guys.
Sales guys. Do you have any data science interns have you done?
That's interesting. We'll have to talk about that some more.
Yeah.
So, because I'm gonna need to take, I'm gonna start a project, probably not that Q1, about how to analyze all the data we're getting on our prospects and write a custom program for it. So pull data out of the CRM, out of the HubSpot, and then evaluate it. So there's a program on that. I gotta build all the rules.
Yeah, let me know. It's
Some of you know.
Number 3.
yeah. So my buddy just made a complete switch from
Oh, you did go down there? Yeah, they did that one about a month ago.
yeah, but he did the intro, and now he's just like, I'm not really
Well, he picked up the fundamentals.
and I know more people.
I'll find for sure.
I did set up another CM last week. No, sales talk? No, it's not sales. That was joking. Yeah, it is sales square. And I just dropped the email to the quarter.
Yeah. You can pick up anyone you want. But you're still trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah. So,
We're gonna organize your data.
yeah. It does it automatically. It takes all information.
One program.
No idea. It was on, I mentioned Noah Kagan, right? On the website. Offers deals for startups, and they had a deal for this CRM. Sales Flare. There's a deal for find that lead, hunter.io.
Yeah, I'm running right now, yeah.
I got a lifetime back.
So as you grow, with my practice, that's all you do. Then you're wrap out the market, then you start building content. Right. So you just use the same system, you don't have to do packaging.
Don't sound scared. It's like, it's just there'll be many of them. We get along really well. So I don't know if it's fun, but he doesn't get along. I think he's actually
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah. We definitely 100%
Exactly.
like it is he just goes and makes survey that puts together. It's not like it's complicated.
Yeah.
just hit him up on short notice yesterday.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? My AWS,
No, it's like so for design, it's like so for design is kind of like already like stuff like that.
yeah, totally. We should not be designing anything.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely have to.
Exactly. So he's like, I was like, you're like the same. I'm like, dude, do you want? I mean, I don't know. You want to take a run at it and say that's good. That's maybe this. Yeah, what was the next fit for you? So I'm looking at it. I'll just think about it. Just thinking of the scale. So if we think, oh, we're not going to. I think that there's going to be more.
He's got the right mindset.
Exactly. And that's what exactly.
But plus he's military, so one of the things I want to do is these plus and we get all the special
I am looking at it. I'll keep them up. Exactly.
still seems like Jess.
You think she'll be part of the group or not?
No, she's not going to part of it because she has different the idea is already fleshed out.
Yeah.
She's relatively fleshed out. So she looked at she was looking get her
Yeah, for defense. Yeah.
and he's sitting like this the whole time, just like your point is that you guys want to go down and check the work and tell me about your late drive to go through the double check so that went back and forth a bit. Basically
fine. I wasn't doing the one
So it goes back to that. I think this one's like
it was really stupid, and our reason was people are there's people on the planet.
I'm sure you got a lot of questions.
Our target market was a photo line. That's it. No. Shit, I thought it was gonna go back.
And then there's that Patrick. He's such a stud, man. Oh, there he is. So we're gonna pass this out. If you want to get one side, I'll just get the other.
Yeah, I lived on 7th
Hello? Can you hear me? No? But, oh, that's because of that. How about now? Can you hear me?
interviews. Hopefully I can help you out.
Nice. So you did. It's on. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is it loud? No, wait. Is it loud? No. Okay. I'll keep talking to him. How about now? Cool.
Okay.
I'll test the next one. Can you hear me? Yep. Cool. Awesome. We're not starting for another 10 minutes, so grab some beer, food, and wine, or whatever you would like. Thank you. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let me know if you need anything else. I'll
Yes.
be over.
And congrats on your first day.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Is Kevin from Greek Time Corporation over here? Can you give me access to a Google Drive? I think I requested access.
So yeah, this is the Google Drive, right? Is it? Oh, I got it. Cool. All right, cool. Of course.
But I brought, I want you to right next to the button. I'm going to submit as an instruction for marketing. All this other shit I do. It had each section broke it down real nice. If you address every issue in an instruction, you probably would get like it. But right next to the fucking submit button.
Roll these guys over.
Yeah. Right next to the My homeboy got it.
Yeah, I know if it was 30 minutes.
So what was your strategy?
I oversold basically stress the advantages. So I'm trying to buy a business and I would say it's basically the same cost and we have all these extra benefits.
My old strategy was to go after Raychem had like there's like two shooters. Or no, the other two. Just going after which is the same market share as Raychem. Just going after smaller.
I think mine was to go after the number two directly. And once we validate
Yeah. I think I should have mentioned. And then go with the big one after. No, I think, yeah.
I'm good with the B or error. Like, yeah, no shit.
I'll take a B. What?
Good.
I don't know if I got an answer. You put a 4
Well, we still haven't gotten the answer.
I forgot I only worth 50. You got me on like side when getting all 100.
Yeah, I'll give a 10-minute thing and review your thing. And I will time it to minutes if I want to.
All that they did is oh, I like as it collides with they're gonna like berate you. How would you like to talk to
I don't want to start.
Cool. Hello. Hello, hello everyone. Can I get your attention? And I have it. How is everyone today? Good? Whose first, yes, thank you. Whose first time is it at the co-founder event? Shit, that's a lot. How did you guys find out about this?
From him.
From who? That guy? That's his fault? How else? Meetup, Facebook, Twitter, Meetup? Newsletter? Okay, cool.
Capital Factory events.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to learn more, figure out how people find out more about this. So welcome to the July edition. This is a monthly meetup where people come up and do a keynote. We have some pitches, we get feedback, and most importantly, do the most Austin thing there is, drink beer and network. There's no tacos this time, but eventually. So, this was started by Johan and Veronica, who are out there. They don't want to hear me, so they're just out there. And I am the pitch coach. So I started off this year by, do you hear static, or is that just me?
It's just you.
Already going crazy, correct. So, these guys started off the co-founder event. It's an old event that started over here in Capital Factory. And I joined in as pitch coach about 6 months ago. And then Johan got me as a host one time, and now I'm doing this. So after the co-founder event, I will give you feedback on your pitch so you can improve it. This is what I do around town a little bit as one of the side things. And I recently helped someone win the WeWork Creator Awards for their pitch, for their startup. So what is going on today? Austin, right? Mix and mingle, have beer, there's a lot of food. It will finish by the time pitches start. So if you're pitching, get some right now. If you don't want to eat before your pitch, and do that. And then we're going to have a keynote by Kenan right here. It's going to be a fireside chat kind of style. I'm going to have questions, and we're going to ask questions about sales and marketing and how to get customers. Then, what you guys are here for, pitches. And 5 people this time are going to pitch about very different things, and they're going to look for feedback, maybe partners, and feedback, and help, advisory, whatever else. And then, again, Austin, more mixing, more mingling, more beer. I will have to kick you wonderful people out in a very nice manner at 9, because Capital Factory gives us a space, and they say 9 is the cutoff. So you can, what's the line? You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So if you look around, so you guys will hear people talk. You will give feedback, but a big part of this is networking, getting to know everyone around you. So if you look to the right or your left, you will see people with dots on their labels, yeah, and you can see who they are. If you're looking for someone specific, please network with them, figure out who they are, get their email, and talk to them after. Investors, media, I'm media. My name tag always falls off, so I'm not going to put it here, but I had on a show called the Austin Fire Show, which we will talk about later. I should probably use this. So, the Tech Map has been going on for a while. If you are looking to come here regularly, you can buy a verified membership, which has many, many perks, including events like the taco breakfast over here in the other room. And then you don't have to pay every single time for this, and it's cheaper. Is it working? I'm looking at you guys. Is it working? No? Great. Cool. So before we jump into everything else, let's talk about partners and sponsors. Capital Factory. Whose first time to Capital Factory is it? Oh, that's great. Welcome to Capital Factory. So CapFac has been here a long time. It was started by Josh Beer, and it's called the Center of Gravity for Entrepreneurs in Austin. And it started off on this floor, then went to the 6th, and now has an amazing, huge event space on the 1st floor. So if you want to check out any other events, they probably have 20 events of all different kinds. So you're looking for stuff on drones, programming, marketing, any kind of business or technology meetup you're looking for, you will find it over here on in one of the 10 meeting rooms they have. Second off, Golden Media is one of our great sponsors. They've been working with us for a while, and I'll give Chris the mic by arm. Shit. Walking over there and giving. Could you give us an idea of what this is?
So we get a lot of feedback whenever the mic comes past here.
Yeah.
So all right, sounds okay. But yeah, not too much to say today. You guys should definitely use Moby for your pitch deck coaching. Golden Media is a multimedia marketing company here in Austin, and just really love working with entrepreneurs and tech companies. That's why we're here. It's just really passionate about all the really cool startups and innovations that are happening here in the Capital Factory. And yeah, that's about it. So I'd love to talk to you about marketing stuff if you want to geek out on that. Really looking forward to Keynote today.
And so one thing I've noticed more about video on Facebook is that I'm scrolling through my newsfeed, and 4 to 5 out of every post is a video, and that's how we consume information right now. And fun fact, if you don't know, 85 of all Facebook videos are watched without audio. So if you are doing video ads, please put subtitles, or people are just going to look at faces for 2 seconds. He said please. And so the Austin Fire Show is my podcast. That's one of the things I do on the side. Podcasts don't make money, but it's something I do as a hobby. I interview entrepreneurs, creators, and just people I find interesting around town, like the designer of Austin's airport, Texas Woman Entrepreneur of the Year. Kenan's on there talking about sales and marketing. And the idea is to help early stage founders understand more about entrepreneurship and how to fit into the Austin ecosystem. So that's the Austin Fire Show. And Your Way is by Veronica, who did not want to pitch her own company for 10 seconds, but it is a business for volleyball coaching, and it's one of the best in town. So she's looking for more people to work with. TCRE and Duzer Promo are more of Johan's companies, and if he's not here to talk about it, I'm going to skip it. Sorry, Johan. So today, I'm going to shut up very soon, and we're going to have a keynote speaker. It's going to be a fireside chat style for the first time in a long time. The last time it was with Brett Hurt at South by Southwest. Were any of you guys over here for that? 2 people. Woo! Cool. And then pitches, 5-minute pitches. We have 5 pitches, and then 4-minute Q&A. I will cut people off so that you can get better at it and quickly get your point across. And if you're looking to pitch, I would highly recommend it. And here's a feedback. Here's a format. The biggest thing about a pitch is making sure people get it. If someone doesn't get what you're pitching, it's pretty much your fault. There's no such thing as the audience is too stupid. And a really easy format is story, customer segments, problem, where you're walking everyone through the context of who you're serving, problem, customer segments, solution, and then getting to the point of, okay, how much money can I make? Market size. How do I make money? Business model. What's the competition look like? How do I get to market? So if you're looking to pitch, you don't have to make it up all your own. And you can you can email me at Moby@Austin Fire Show for a link to this, or you can go to my podcast, iTunes, SoundCloud, whatever else you use. Listen to number 18. I walk it through this. Anyone looking to pitch in the future, by the way? Just curious. Woohoo! Woo! Got one. Awesome. So, when you're talking to co-founders, you know how to network. This is Austin, I'm sure, and beer helps. But a quick way to say is, this is who I am, this is what I'm looking for, and these are my credentials. I won't go into this. Please pick up your trash after this, but I'll get to it in the end. These are the pitches, these are the companies that are presenting. It's gonna be a good time, and we're gonna get to it after this next session. Before we begin, people who have already been here, any suggestions? Because we're constantly trying to improve. What would you like to see more of? Like to see less of? Do you want me out the door? I'm sure Johan can do it and get someone else. But if you're looking to improve, see, they laughed too. You guys didn't laugh. Finally. And so, is there anything you'd like to see more of, based on your previous experience? I'm going to be in awkward silence for 10 seconds.
I haven't seen this format. I'm curious to see the fireside show.
Boom, you saved everyone for 4 more seconds. Thank you.
Nice.
Cool, thank you guys. So let me know we're open to feedback. And now we're gonna have Kenan. Kenan.
Thanks, Bobby.
Yeah, of course. So please sit down. So Kenan has been working in sales and marketing for about more than 20 years, right?
More than 30, but we don't count that this day and age. We count the gray hairs. That's what
Okay. And we can get all in the intro right after when we sit down, but here you go.
Thanks,
and
my
welcome
friend.
Kenan, everybody.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks, guys, for showing up. This is a great opportunity for us all to work together and share ideas. What we're going to talk about today is really how to help you guys get off the ground when it comes to selling your solutions out to market. So,
Cool.
with that in mind. So there's no fire here because it's really hot right now. So
Yeah.
we'll sit down and have a little chat.
Cool. Chris, can you see good? Okay, cool. So I met Kenan about a year ago here in Capital Factory. To learn more about him, learn about his experience in the B2B space, selling. So quickly, Kenan is the founder of Sellerant, which is an Austin-based sales accelerator company. If you're a startup, you're always looking for, the thing that makes them work, which is money. And of course, with that, you need to have sales. And Kenan was doing this for many, many years, helping startups get to a point from, hey, I have an idea who my customers are. I have some assumptions about them, but how do I get to a point where I can get them in the sales cycle and give them something of value that they will pay for? Because that's the only thing that will make a company survive. All right, Kenan, can you tell us, first of all, thank you for being here and for suggesting this style. I've wanted to do this for a while. Can you tell everyone more about Sellerant and what you guys do?
Sure thing. Thanks, Moby. So NetNet, we're a sales accelerator for early stage tech B2B startups. A lot of the things we're going to talk about today are really tactical in terms of how to address your customers, how to prepare to address them. Some of it also applies to B2C plays. Real quick show of hands, who's a tech B2B founder here today? Cool. In B2C? Awesome. Okay, so for us, what we do, and this mission started, I guess, back in the dotcom days. I've been selling in some form or fashion for 30 plus years. What inspired me early on was when my career started in recruiting. And one of the things, and it was all technical recruiting back in the early days when we had file folders and phones with buttons on them sitting on a desk. Okay, you'll see a trend here in terms of dating me, but it's evolved. Okay, I started working with VC investors in Silicon Valley in '94, '95. So I truly was right in the middle of the valley during the dot-com boom, and it was crazy for all of us, as I'm sure you've read, or if you were part of it, then you certainly understood. What I learned then was probably shaped in terms of what Sellerant's vision is today. And that is, first of all, it was really devastating when a lot of assumptions were made by investors, institutional, private alike, startup founders, a lot of activity, a lot of inertia, no clue how to get to market. It was all about burn rate, okay? And I was right in the thick of it. I was working doing business development and recruiting. My job was really to try to find people, programs, and avenues to try to get an idea monetized. So when the dot-com bust hit and really kind of everything just dissolved, I stepped back and kind of took stock of what I learned, and that created sort of the inspiration to build something that can help startups succeed, not succeed, or pivot faster and much less expensively, and with much less collateral damage. So with that in mind, what I looked at was, okay, what worked, what didn't. I moved down here from Northern California in 2006 at 11 Round Rock. And I founded Sellerant to work for early stage startups to help them prepare to go to market quickly and figure out what they need to do to address their customers. And had a few early stage clients, learned a lot. But when it's all said and done, what we decided to do was figure out a way to help founders get to market and understand what their customers, what their market is doing before they have to ask a question. And this is something that I think resonates with all of you in terms of trying to understand what your audience is thinking, why they're thinking it, and what you need to do to be a part of that conversation and create your solution.
Before we jump into how you help startups do that, can you help us understand what do you mean by succeed, not succeed, and pivot?
Absolutely. So success is categorized by many different ways. Some founders want to create a social impact, some want to create a commercial impact, or both. But ultimately, it's realizing your vision, capitalizing on it, monetizing it, or materializing it, making it become a reality. So success takes a lot of flavors. Generally, it has to do with revenue, customers, adoption, and case studies that are positive, okay? That's what we're all after. If we're founding something, we have a mission, we have a goal, we want to succeed. Unfortunately, the sad fact is most startups are not going to succeed to the extent that the original vision was sort of laid out. So for a lot of startups, if you're not going to succeed, you need to find out quickly why you're not going to succeed and what you need to do to either take that lesson and bring it forward to your next venture, or figure out how to minimize the damage to you, your own bank account, and anybody who's backed you, or any employees that you've hired, to make sure that everybody can have a smooth transition and move on.
So, I read that most startups fail because of a lack of paying customers. Surprise! And that's because they're not building something that customers want. So based on that statement, if I am running a B2B startup, it's been 3 months, I have an idea of what my MVP would look like. I have some assumptions about my customer. And I'm thinking, okay, it's time to test and figure out, do people care about what I'm building? Will they pay? How the hell do I start?
Great question. So first of all, quick show of hands. How many here have actually done sales in some capacity? Awesome. So what's the first thing, and anybody, this is again a fireside chat, it's open, we're all collaborating here. What's the first thing generally in sales that you do?
Tell a story.
Tell a story, that's good. What else do we do?
Identify a problem.
Identify a problem. How do you do that? Ask questions. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say, let's assume that your audience has probably already been approached by any number of vendors, especially if they're seasoned in either purchasing or making a decision. Do you think that's a safe assumption? Okay. So what percentage of your audience or your target customers you think can probably ferret out a salesperson or a sales call like in the first 3 seconds? Pretty much all of them, right? Okay. All right. Because, yeah, we're taught to ask questions, we're taught to probe, okay? And that's important, so I don't want us to forget that it's important to do that, but there's a way to do that now that's going to actually make you much more efficient and gain more credibility faster than asking questions. And the way you do that, it's very systematic, it's very tactical. I'm going to drop a bomb here. Sales is not strategic. What? It never was, ever. I don't care who tells you that. There's a lot of VP of sales that are probably going to want to shoot me right now, but that's not the fact. Sales is all tactical. It's execution. It's a method. So, clearly you have to prepare. The best way to prepare to sell or pitch is to understand your audience, understand your target market. The easiest method, the easiest way to do that is to categorize them, okay? Customer, vendor, partner, service provider, reseller, put them in a category, okay? Just like when you're starting a game of dominoes, right? Or anything where you have multiple game pieces in groups. What's the first thing you do? You sort them out, right? So put your target audience into a category, industrially, vertically, problems or trends or markets that they're in, put them in a category. That's the first step, and it's very prescriptive. Once you put your audience into a category, then you can understand how to prepare to address them, and all of a sudden, half your questions are answered before you even get into dialogue.
What do you mean by half of our questions are already answered?
So when you categorize your prospects, and when you really put them into a position of knowing about their business, about their market, about the trends that they're facing, now you're becoming a bit of a subject matter expert before you ask one question, because you've categorized them. And when you're doing that, you're understanding, what are they dealing with? Let's just, quick example. Let's say you're brick and mortar groceries, okay? Let's say you're down off North Lamar down here. And you've been around for a while and you focus on, home, healthy groceries, kind of a lifestyle experience. Maybe you're a little bit overpriced, and maybe not. I'm not mentioning names. Long story short is, you found a niche, you're doing really well, and you're growing. Okay. So then you start seeing these, heck, HEB even does it now, right? And I love HEB. I'm just a suburb guy, I guess. But anyway, when it all boils down to it, people are starting to deliver groceries. So who gets on that train? a little retail company up in Seattle. And so, okay, so cut to the chase. So you know, let's say your customer is that brick and mortar store, and you're selling, oh gosh, transportation services, fresh foods transported quickly from a wholesaler, farm to market. And if you're paying attention to what's happening in the industry with groceries, you already know that, heck, even Walmart's getting into it now, okay? So instead of asking a question, make a statement when you approach that prospect. Make a statement about what's happening in the industry that you know about it, and you're gonna wanna gain credibility quickly by putting something out in front of that customer. It's not a question, but it's actually a statement or a position that you're taking and how you're gonna help them solve that problem or prepare for what's around the corner. And that's what I mean by categorizing, understanding, and being presumptive.
So, is everyone familiar with the lean startup model? Or is someone not familiar with that? It's okay, raise your hand. Yes. Oh yeah. So, a big part of that is build, measure, learn. So, the first part, which is understanding your customers, making some assumptions about them, and then going out and talking to them to understand whether that's true or not. So, what you're saying is, let me summarize, and let me know if I'm a complete shithead and got this wrong. First off, understand your customer. What?
Not you.
Okay.
You don't give yourself enough credit sometimes.
Understand your customers and make a set of assumptions about them, or what you understand from trends, or what you've heard about from competitors, partners, and then make statements based on them. And now, instead of asking questions, you use those set of statements to contact the customer and start getting feedback from them.
Absolutely, create credibility by showing you're an expert in their market, because you're using tools that are available. Have Google alerts, news feeds, look how much data is available, channel it, categorize it, put it where it needs to be. This is relevant today, this is relevant tomorrow, or this is completely irrelevant. Because we've got so many channels coming at us these days. We have to learn to take that information and quickly categorize it to be able to create that position around it. Ingest it, apply it, and then anticipate. So you're absolutely right, you hit the nail on the head. What you want to be able to do is quickly gain credibility by laying out a statement to a prospect about your problem, their problem, your solution, how you know it's impacting their business, and putting a case in front of them. An example of that would be, so you're obviously dealing now with what's happening with online distribution, and you're probably looking at margins today. You're probably looking at your suppliers today. Let's talk about how you're going to be positioned when those suppliers or those vendors look completely different. And all of a sudden, you're not doing a sales pitch. You're not asking a question. You're creating a business case. And that business case is giving you credibility, and it's creating a conversation with that prospect that they're not that likely anymore to put you in the position of selling to them. It's probably more like advising with them, and then they're going to listen to you. There's no shortcuts, but you can follow a prescriptive practice. Categorize, assimilate, assume and anticipate, and then address and approach.
So with the addressing part, which is, first of all, kind of scary because you have to go and talk to your customers, because you're, again, a lean startup thing, which is your idea is your baby, and you don't want anyone to tell you that your baby is pretty ugly. So you don't want to hear the fact that, hey, your idea is bad, or you don't have the right customer segment, or you're not really solving a problem, because what a lot of founders do is believe that their startup is part of their identity, and they take it personally, which happens in a pursuit like that. So, I have started reaching out to customers, and I'm getting, can someone give me an example of a B2B business that they might be doing? Or, okay, raise your hand if you have a B2B business.
Is it software, is it a service, or is it a platform?
Software.
Perfect. Let me guess, it's a SaaS, right?
Yes.
Okay.
For who?
For construction and primarily working in solar field projects.
In what projects?
Solar field?
Okay. And when you're reaching out to customers, how do you reach out to them?
So because I was in the construction engineering for 10 years, I have a large network, and so I use that network to reach out to people.
So what's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry. If Jerry were to reach out to someone outside of the network, how would Jerry approach that person?
Okay, so,
Improv.
yeah, perfect, let's talk, that's great, I love being put on the fire here.
Yeah.
So solar energy, right?
But it's
And
around procurement.
procurement, okay, perfect. So there's logistics, there's statutory requirements, there's things like that, right? So let me, again, just off the cuff, probably one of the biggest pain point that is dealt with is adoption, in terms of, it's not common yet. There's adoption, there's maybe regulatory, there's old school thinking, I would think, and there's some of those sort of attitudes. Is that
Right?
Okay. I don't know much about the industry, so I could be completely off base, and don't be afraid to tell me I am. Okay, so what I would probably do is position this in terms of future possibilities, right? So when you're going to approach somebody that's outside your network, Jerry, you said, right? And you're around actually distributing the energy, or distributing the administration or operation.
Around materials for solar field construction.
Got it, okay, so actual raw materials to, okay, so, some of the pain points are maybe permits, right? Building permits or land, okay. So, are you using, are those pain points that are common in this industry right now? I don't know much about it,
Yes,
so.
I mean, well, so because we're filling in the gaps around where large ERP systems are not handling, so we manage the full procurement process, working with vendors and all the way from like when someone's needing a piece of material, all the way to where it's delivered on site, where it's actually installed on site as well, where large ERP systems are not managing that.
Got it, so the choice is really, that truly is, are we gonna build this capability
Right.
in-house and have to deal with all of the collateral that goes along with that? Or am I going to partner with a service provider that's going to be a promoter, an evangelist, that's gonna drive me revenue, right?
Right.
So maybe the statement has to be around, let's take a look at the impact of revenue in your future as it relates to your business model. So when it boils down to it, you're clearly a subject matter expert, and you've probably been called on by countless sales reps, right?
In some aspects.
Over the years,
Yeah.
okay.
It's fun.
And if you, always fun. So, can you remember, has there been a notable experience where a vendor or a partner has reached out to you in a way that immediately gained credibility for you?
I mean, every time that someone has reached out to me has always been credible because they want me to help them with their, whatever problem they're solving. Because I've worked on a lot of construction sites with different companies.
Right.
And so whenever they're needing help, I'm one of the people that they call on. So if you're asking if I'm the credible one or if they are, whenever I know that they've reached out to someone in my network, then I know that that they're someone that's desperate and looking for help.
Okay, so you're the credible one, exactly. So when you start your conversation with someone that you don't know, cocktail party or a networking event,
Okay.
how do you strike up a conversation? Are you making a statement? Are you doing a pitch? Or are you asking a question?
Is the question how you make yourself seen as a subject matter
Gaining
expert?
credibility, yeah, gaining credibility
It's
quickly.
probably the questions that I ask.
Yeah. Okay, so it's question-based, right? Okay. And you get reception because of your knowledge, right? Okay, and that's certainly, look, I'm not eschewing asking questions. End of the day, when you're reaching out, when you don't yet have credibility, when you don't have leads coming in, when they're not knocking at your door, you've got to create that. You've got to do outbound in your early stages. You've got to be able to gain credibility quickly with your audience by knowing what they're dealing with. And quick show of hands, Simon Sinek, y'all know him, right? Oh, okay, hierarchy of needs, all that good stuff, right? The why?
Why?
Yeah, okay. So you know why your audience is doing something. When you know why they're doing what they're doing, then you're making this conversation based upon knowledge, based upon credibility and expertise, and you're creating a partnership. Because ultimately in sales, it's a numbers game.
Well,
Okay.
and I have to say that because when I pivoted into education, so I'm currently working in education,
Mhm.
that what escalated my career in that is the problem statements. So understanding the problems that were happening in
Right.
education, what would solve those problems, really is what opened a lot of doors for me.
Perfect.
I gotta my mic died. This is great, right? So you have understood your customers, right?
Bellow, man.
No shouting here. So you've understood your customers, you categorized them, you understood them. Reaching out to them in a way that is you are perceived as subject matter expert, whether that's B2B or B2C. Now, how do you start? And you, for example, let's talk about restaurants. You gave me this example once, that if you talk to a restaurant about a problem that they're having, and you want to solve that, you say, hey, here's some data about what you're doing. What are your thoughts on this? And start a conversation. How do you, without being seen as, oh, this guy just wants to sell me something and he doesn't care about me, he just cares about how he makes money, how do you get that conversation started? That this guy cares about my problem, he actually has the credibility that he can solve it and can get shit done.
That's an awesome question. So thanks for the easy one. Jerry, I love a challenge. That was a good one. I don't know enough about your industry. I got to study, I got to categorize and learn so I can anticipate. So you're a restaurant owner. Clearly, this industry is getting turned on its head right now, and there's information about it everywhere. So when you're calling on an independent restaurant, they're facing labor shortages and turnover at magnitudes that they've never had before. So when you're calling on a restaurant owner or operator, if it's a franchise, a chain, or independent, fine dining, whatever it is, the first thing on your mouth is, we know the impact of labor cost and labor turnaround and hiring on your operation. If you're an 80 table, $10 million a year business with about a 6% margin, we already know that you're spending well over $300,000 a year trying to figure out how to hire and retain people. Okay, if you took that and added 2% to your profit line, what would that do to your business? So if I showed you how to use technology to alleviate that, you'd probably take a few minutes and spend some time with it, wouldn't you? So all of a sudden you're talking about a business case, a business pain that you know that is significant in their eyes right now, and you're talking to them about their revenue, because you can pretty much easily figure that out once you study the industry a little bit. If you've got a capacity of X, and you are usually doing dinners and lunches on Y, you pretty much know within $1 million or $2 million a year what their revenue is, if not closer. When you tell them what you know about their business and what you know they're struggling with right now, they're not going to put you in a category of trying to pitch something. They're going to listen to what you have to say and see if you have a better way to solve a problem than they're struggling with right now.
Awesome. To talk to them in things they actually care about. Surprise.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump to Q&A, and because we have about 10 minutes before we jump into pitches. Who has questions? Not Jerry, that's too much, I'm kidding. But who has questions for Kevin? And I will walk around and give the mic. And actually, can you shout, because I only have one mic. And I'm going to put that in. Go ahead.
Again, thank you very much. I have a question. I have just spent some time with the CTO of a startup company here, talking about how to reach out to people and how to speak to them. He actually said that nobody in a position of a C-level executive, or people who are making a decision, will take seriously someone who he doesn't know, doesn't trust. And the word was not in Texas, okay? That in Texas, it's all about personal, about liking people, about feeling good about them. It's different from West Coast and stuff. So he said that the best way to reach out to somebody would be to ask for an introduction from somebody that these people know. So the actual, and it's actually very much relevant to what you're saying. He actually said any attempt to call rich somebody is fighting a very, very hard uphill battle. What's your take on that? Maybe it makes sense more to find out who this person knows and then reach them out through an introduction rather than trying to pass on as an expert from the beginning.
That's a great question. What's your name?
Clem.
Clem, very nice to meet you. So, and this goes back decades and decades. It's always best to get a referral, okay? If you can get a referral, if you know somebody, being able to create that connection is generally going to get some attention from your audience, from your target. The first thing you said, if I heard correctly, was when you're reaching out to a C-level. Now, that's quite frankly relative. So, I probably wouldn't be able to get a direct audience with Sergey Brin right now. Okay, I could call him and I'm pretty good at leaving voicemail, but I doubt click, right? So, but if I'm talking to a 300-person startup in managed tech services, working and growing a footprint into Microsoft Azure right now for managed operations, I regularly hit about 60% of my connections, even if it's just a voicemail, okay? And the way that I do that is by creating creating a topic that indicates that I know what I'm talking about. And I'll start with a phone call and leave a message with a gatekeeper and be very specific about it in less than 30 seconds. Then I'll follow that up with an email, okay? That email's gonna ask a question in the subject line that's gonna be very compelling and relevant to what I know they're dealing with. And it's gonna be less than 150 words, and it's gonna show 3 clear value points about why I wanna talk to that C-level executive. And I'm getting a 51% open rate and a 22% response rate. So is that great? That's relative. It's still hard work, but when you're working in a startup and when you don't yet have credibility and you're not in a whole bunch of channels and you have to fight with everybody else, you have to do the work, you have to reach out, and you have to be persistent. And if you anticipate and execute on knowledge that you have and you've learned, more often than not, you're going to be able to get an audience, if not with the C-level himself or herself, then with a delegate that you compelled enough in that message for that person to assign to get back to you and have a meaningful conversation.
If I may follow up with a very quick one.
Sure, Clem.
Sure. Very quick one. Isn't there a risk for passing of somebody who is throwing truisms at somebody who already knows what the problems are they're facing? Like you'll Google something up, looked up about what the industry problems are, and then you come tell this person what these are, and they, you pass on to somebody who's just, looked something up on Google and doesn't know what you're talking about.
That's a very good question. So succinctly put, it's very easy to be able to discern whether someone just looked up a news feed. You have to take it to the next level. You actually have to prepare. That's where you need to understand the why. So you need to know why your target audience or your target prospect is doing what they're doing, okay? If you don't know why they're doing it, you can't create a statement that's gonna differentiate you from some research intern who looked up on a Google alert that there was a recent development where someone partnered with somebody else and it had to happened to have his name in it, okay? That's easy. You need to go beyond that and correlate that to the why your prospect is doing what they're doing. Create your entry point around that why.
And last quick question. I was going to do 10-second awkward thing again. Go ahead.
So for the 41% who is not responding, how much follow-up are you going to do? Like what kind of follow-up are you going to do?
So I believe, if I heard the question, your name was?
Sorry, my name is Veena.
Nice to meet you. So your question is, how many follow-ups should you do to your prospect?
Yeah.
Again, that's relative. Probably no fewer than 3. You definitely want to make a personal connection, and even if it's a voicemail, a lot of them won't be listened to, but you've got about 5 or 10 seconds right out of the gate to captivate somebody's attention. That's about how short attention economy is these days. Used to be 30. It's decreasing by the moment, right? But maybe 3 follow-ups, a great voicemail or phone call, an email, a follow-up email. After that, maybe set them aside in the future prospect category, get back to them later.
Cool. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Boom. All right. Thank you, Chris, for the batteries. All right, let's jump into pitches. Wow, you're looking at my embarrassingly cluttered. There you go. Of course, thank you.
A lot of fun.
That was great.
Appreciate it, man. Like all
Okay. So, first off, we have Kumo. Where is Kumo? Hello. You pitched it before, right?
A year ago.
A year ago. Let me see if this guy works. You know why this doesn't work? Any guesses?
Batteries, man.
No, I didn't turn it on.
Oh, really?
Yep. Cool. So I will time you for 5 minutes, and I will cut you off, and we'll do 3 to 4 minute Q&A, and yeah, move on to the next one.
All right, sounds good. Hey everyone, my name is Tyler Moyer. I'm going to start out by making an assessment is that everybody likes to travel or travels at some point of their lives. And so if you actually traveled, you understand this thing, which is planning a trip is freaking hard. There's a lot of things you have to do. And so the scenario I usually kind of create for someone is if you go to a brand new place and you know nobody, you have no family or friends from these areas, what do people like you and I probably do? We probably go online. We have 4 to 5 windows open. You have one for flights, hotels, and then a whole bunch of them trying to figure out what you're gonna do once you get there. At the end of the day, or maybe at the end of the week, you might have planned out a trip, you might have booked everything, but you're still a little lost. Why? It's because if you have no friends or family from those areas, it's kind of hard to validate if those things are still relevant. So if you ran into this issue like I have on many occasions, then Kumo Travel is going to be a platform for you. So Kumo Travel is a platform that allows the individual like you and I to plan and book their entire trip from start to finish while allowing other real people to give you comments and suggestions. So imagine social media meets travel, but the benefits don't just stop there. When you plan your trip on the platform, it actually shows you other people that are going to be there at the same time, allowing you to connect and actually meet other real people through the commonality of travel. So this platform is going to be open for everybody, but what makes it super unique is actually the target market that we're going for. So our target market is actually going to be the veteran and serviceman demographic. A lot of people don't know, but the #1 cause of death right now is suicide. 20 to 22 people commit suicide per day in the veteran community, and one of the leading reasons is the constant relocation from one place to another, which kind of brings in my story. So I was active duty Army for 7 years, and in those 7 years, I moved 7 times, deployed twice to Afghanistan. So I understand how hard it is, because every time you move, you lose your friends, family, and community. So how Kumo is going to help this demographic directly is that when the soldier goes to a brand new destination or a duty assignment, they can look at old trips that are taken in that local area for them to create their own personalized trip with the help of other people and actually meet other real people. They get them out of the barracks and basically combat the mental health issues through travel. So how big is the market? The current market for the servicemen and veterans is roughly 21 million people. Texas has the second largest population of veterans by states with 1.7 million. And a lot of people don't know, if you draw a 100-mile radius circle around Austin, it has the highest concentration of veterans and servicemen in the whole United States, with Fort Hood, Texas is the largest military base, which is my last duty assignment. And so based off these figures and off the average cost that someone actually spends, it actually creates a potential $14 billion market just in Texas, about $176 billion in the whole United States. So how do we make money? So there's 3 different forms. Oh, actually, we'll do that after this slide. So how does Kumo work? So when the user actually gets on and becomes a member, they can create their own unique itinerary. Everything's automated. When you put your destination, it's going to automate everything that's going to be actually trending within the area. And then once they create their entire itinerary, it allows other people to look at your itinerary, give you suggestions, recommendations, so they can actually help alter your trip based off of their experience. And then another thing that's actually a very big benefit is we partnered with Priceline. So when you plan your entire trip, you basically have the ability to book the flights and hotels, and all it does is pull the information from your itinerary to present how much your tickets would cost. So instead of going to all these other sites to punch in the same information, it's being all done on the same platform. And then the final step is it's going to show you other people that are going to be there, so it allows you to actually connect and make your trip that much better. So all trips are taken are going to be archived and saved, and hopefully your trip can inspire the next person. So how do we make money? So the first one is going to be the API integration. All purchases of bookings, flights, and hotels, we get a referral fee from Priceline. 2 is going to be ad revenue in 2 different ways. Businesses have the opportunity to sponsor their own business, so when someone travels to the area, their business will be displayed first. And then obviously once we reach critical mass, then we would do the traditional ad revenue. And then the third is going to be site monetization, where people can have free access to everything, but if you want to unlock additional features, it might cost like 99 cents. So for competitive landscape, everybody knows there's a social media like Facebook, the information hubs like TripAdvisor, and booking like Priceline and Orbitz. But nothing really combines all the functions so that you can do it all on one platform, which is what Kumo is trying to do. And so here's our dream team. One of the good big takeaways is 4 out of 5 of us are all veterans, so we understand our market directly. And Ian Fisher, or Jameson Fisher, him and I actually deployed to Afghanistan together, and so we have a very good, strong bond with the leadership at Fort Hood, which has 55,000 soldiers. So here's our current milestones. 2 of the big takeaways is we partnered with Fort Hood's BOSS program, which basically directly caters to 13,000 single soldiers. And also, we've also partnered with UT Austin's Planet Longhorn, which is their international shooter program. And I'm done, actually.
Oh, great timing. All right, questions. Do you want to come in front and ask the questions first? Sure.
Can we just ask questions?
Yeah, I'll just wait for Kenan to ask. Do you have a question right now, or?
I do, actually.
Cool.
So, first of all, thanks for your service. Appreciate that. Help me understand a little bit more about the revenue model with partner revenue with Priceline, whatever the booking revenue.
Yeah, so we're not recreating a wheel because they spend millions of dollars on partnerships, and so so everything's gonna be white labeled, and so any booking that's gonna be done is gonna be done through their inventory, but it's not gonna be taken to their site. Everything's being pulled and purchased through our site, and then in turn we get a kickback off of percentages. So it's a little different between flights and hotels. Hotels give you a percentage. Flights give you like per booking gives you X amount of dollars.
Right. Okay.
So
Transaction based.
correct.
Okay, makes sense.
More questions?
Can anyone use this, or do you have to be military?
Oh yeah, anybody can use this. So that's why I kind of started out in the beginning because a lot of people have the problem, and so it is open for everybody. But for direct marketing purposes, focusing on the military and also college students. So at the end of the day, it's actually for everybody. So if you ever go to the site, because a lot of people always tell me it doesn't look military, and there's a reason why. Because I don't want to scare anybody that's not military.
So how do you answer the concern that people don't want to be stalked on their itinerary?
Right, so there's a level of risk that everybody has to take, but I think this is the perfect time to actually launch because you have platforms like Tinder, Airbnb, Couchsurfing, all these things that people are already doing, and they're meeting random people, so this is just another way for them to meet people through another purpose, which is travel, which is kind of end up the same way.
So
But,
you're mixing in Tinder functionality in this too?
but no swiping though. Yeah.
That could be the best mashup ever.
So you're not restricting, like in Tinder or whatever, two people choose to like each other, then they get more information. Right?
Correct, right. Because like you have your itinerary and then they have theirs, and so you can match and pair. Like, okay, I like what this person's doing, and you can message them and say, hey, let's try to link up together and then meet up. Hopefully not in a dark corner place.
So are they both having to accept before they can make communication? Is what I'm saying.
No, it's, direct communication is allowed, but to actually meet up and pass like personal information, that's going to be up to them. So there is still some level of common sense.
So that if two people are going to the same place, they can see everything they planned out?
Yes. You have the option to make it private, but when you make it private, you give this disclaimer saying when you do this, you lose the ability for other people to give you insightful information because the suggestions you make in the wintertime are going to be different from the summer, weekends, and weekdays. So if you put no information, then it's very hard for people to give you good feedback.
How many people are using the site today?
Oh yeah, so we're launching actually next month. So right now, basically what I'm doing between now and launch is basically try to get with as many influencers as possible to get as much splash as I can once I do launch. So that's why I'm focused on UT Austin and also Fort Hood, Texas.
That's all the time we have for questions. Thank you.
So next is Jonathan with Monix. Did I say that right?
Monix.
Monix. Yes, I did not. Cool. You gave me Google Slide, right?
Yeah, Google Slide. Yeah, that's it. Is there a podium? Like a little...
Yeah, yeah. Do you want me to put this down?
Yeah, it's good.
It's a mic. And I will start timing you whenever you start.
This is forward back. Okay. Hey everyone. My name is John Spiewak and this is Deb Mackey. We're excited to be here and get your feedback. Sorry. We are a team of productivity experts and we are reinventing the way people manage their service businesses. To help you understand why business owners will use Monix every single day, I'd like to share a quote by successful fashion entrepreneur, Donna Karan. It's all about finding the calm in chaos.
We'd like to share a quick story about clothing. Putting materials together that we can wear is one of the most ancient human activities. The tools we use have remained the same for hundreds of years. It took us centuries to finally combine all these tools into one awesome, glorious machine, the sewing machine. I have no idea how it works, but I do know by using its simple controls, I can create whatever outfit I want. If we can do this with clothes, why can't we do it for our work lives? But where do you start? Today, service business owners suffer from the number of tools to choose from, the complexity of those tools to organize and manage their work, and often the cost of those tools. In today's world, every service business needs a place to showcase their services, a way to be in control of communications and their brand, and a way to take the pulse of their business. We love email, chat, phone calls, texts, but tasks get missed and forgotten. People can miss emails. It's getting really difficult to track all the information that's shared, and sometimes documents get lost. Hiring a tech expert to figure it all out can be costly. Business owners who try to do the do-it-yourself approach end up feeling overwhelmed. So to solve these issues, there are project management tools, productivity tools, and shared task lists. But these are all under different logins, different devices, and often you don't have full control over the communications. Somehow we manage things, but it can be time-consuming and a hassle. These things make doing business less pleasant.
So Monix solves these problems. We empower business owners and their staff to manage everything, to send and organize every chat, every task, every meeting, every note, every text message, every website update, every marketing promotion, every opt-in, every vote or survey, all from one site. You will never have to be in 5 different software systems at the same time ever again. With Monix, your business management is streamlined. Your overwhelm is gone, and you have the power to achieve your business goals. And I'd like to share one more thing. Monix-powered sites can create their own website and app in 10 minutes or less. It creates code for Apple and Android that can be submitted to app stores, which means your business can be found.
Let's face it, what business does not need to be online today? Yet according to a Redshift research survey, 50% of small businesses have no online presence outside of their Facebook or Twitter accounts. When asked why, 40% said they either lacked the technical knowledge or could not afford it. So you might be thinking, why are we the perfect team to do this? At 14 years old, John helped build the first visual database modeling tool for a company called LogicWorks, which was acquired by Computer Associates for $100 million. He was the senior scalability and automation engineer at kayak.com, where he built, automated, secured, and scaled hundreds of systems which served millions of daily flights and hotel searches. Kayak was acquired by Priceline for over $1.5 billion. He was also a senior scalability engineer at Rackspace, supporting some of the internet's most popular sites.
And Deb worked at small and large businesses where she organized and streamlined accounting procedures and was an ESL teacher for children in Taiwan and China, where she excelled in effective communication. She is an entrepreneur 2 times over now, and she has also grown a fitness coaching business on social media and continues to mentor others trying to do the same. We know the competitive landscape. We know how to build scalable systems. We are moving fast, and we are looking for investment to go faster. We want to scale the team, further develop the product, and make a big marketing push. We are going to change the way people think of managing their service businesses. There is a pain, and we have a solution. We have a powerful platform. So if you'd like to help us bring calm back to the chaos, we'd love to hear from you.
Boom.
That's good.
So if I were to summarize your pitch, there's too much that you could basically come up and say, hey, you have a business? How many emails do you get a day? How many messages do you get? It sucks that Facebook Messenger is different. I have calendar, this. Make a story about that in 45 seconds and say we're here to solve that. And we're great at this because I've done this and she's done this. And then talk about the technical questions because these guys are going to ask you how you're going to do it. But you can honestly do that in 75 seconds instead and with no reading.
Okay. That's very good feedback. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, because one of the things is you're strict reading the entire time, at least that's the feel for it, at least for me. And I've worked with a lot of people in coaching, presentations, stuff like this, and you want to have it memorized such that your focus is on your audience the entire time, instead of just occasionally you glance at your notes, but your eye contact is with us out here. That's where you're pitching.
Okay.
With that constructive criticism.
That's good feedback, thank you.
So John, were you rack space up here or down in San Antonio?
In San Antonio, I was in Austin for about 6 months.
Okay. What sort of catalyzed your idea here? Was it something that you experienced yourself, of just too many Basecamp, internal stuff, external stuff, mail chat? What was the impetus around the idea?
Well, lots of reasons. Everything's so scattered. Everyone's got different logins, and we have. Well, it actually kind of started with I started volunteering as for my community. Started providing services with helping out with our HOA, with fixing problems in the community. I quickly went on and figured out there's really not anything to help organize everything. There's an email, and people have documents in Dropbox, and there's all sorts of systems all over the place. Everything was scattered, nothing was organized. And how do we communicate? We have people's email addresses, but nothing was centralized, and we didn't even have a website. So I created a system that allowed people to vote and participate in the community. And in doing that, I realized that this is a common problem across not just communities, but any organizations, whether you're a group.
Maybe in an entrepreneur, I ran into the same issues too. So,
Right.
in my coaching business, so it was like this app for this.
Oh yeah.
Wait a second, I don't have that website.
I see the need exactly. I might suggest, because I had some HOA background too, and I run a service business now. We have several different applications that we have to have. You've heard of Basecamp, obviously, right?
Absolutely.
So maybe for this, if you could find a vertical to go after first, that HOAs are perfect. You have a property manager, you have an HOA board, and then you have the residents who are always a pleasure to deal with, right? So maybe that would be a nice little vertical. I don't know enough, I haven't studied it, but I think that might be a place to start where you could possibly get some quick traction. And especially in this area here, there's a lot of new construction, new recently built properties. Probably a big opportunity here in Austin to bootstrap this thing and grow it if you pick that niche. Maybe it's for homeowner, HOA communities.
Yeah, we are talking to a lot of HOAs that are very interested in this product.
Yeah,
they've all said the same thing. We can't communicate. We have no way to send alerts or emergencies or how to vote. And some states are even requiring documents to be electronically accessible on a secure platform.
Right.
And for voting, they require a third party. So you can't just say you can vote by sending me an email. As the HOA president, has to be
There's
a
proxy
third
and
party.
stuff and all that. So I think if you went after property management companies, property management groups, you'll probably get a lot of traction.
That's good feedback.
One quick question.
Do you have screenshots of the product itself so you can kind of get an idea of what we're looking at?
Do we have time to?
Not really.
Okay. Well, let's see.
I mean, the site's up.
Just
It's
so
not-
I want to see the presentation.
I have a few screenshots of what the app looks like with some the booking feature. So essentially, and if you have a laptop, you can go to monix.com and see some more information. But basically, you get asked a few basic questions about your business. What type of business it is? Are you a service business? Do you have facilities that you offer, or do you allow your time to be bookable? And it sets up the software just out of the box within minutes of everything it thinks that you might need. And then you can further tweak it with the colors, upload photos, images, change the layout, basic look and feel changes to customize for your business. And you get logins for you and your employees and your customers, and you can turn on and off the features that you like.
Cool, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we have John from Two Owner. Google Doc or a PowerPoint?
It's Google Slide.
Then there it is.
Moby's Mighty Mac.
Yeah, the ones that are not working. Oh, there you go. Sorry about that. Okay.
I should probably give you the mic.
Where's the front? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Can you try it? Does it work?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, good. Hi everybody, I'm John Mulliken. I'm founder of True Owner. It's an app that helps you recover your items if they get stolen. So how many people here have had something like stolen recently? pretty often. How many people have bikes here? Anybody had a bike stolen here in Austin? Yeah, almost as many, right? Me, I have. So yeah, what really got me into this, I dropped off my bike before work, before the bike shop opened, and it was right there in front of the bicycle sports shop. Yes, no, it's a big, busy place. About 15 minutes later, guy comes by, snips, takes the bike, right, just out there. He's on videotape, right? And yeah, I don't know what you think about homelessness or whatever, but I know the look of this guy, he took it to get money as quick as he could for this bike. And he probably took it straight to a pawn shop. The problem is, I realized if it's in the pawn shop, I had no proof of ownership. There was no way that I could say that bike was mine. But the policeman, came in, and he's not going to take it from that business owner, right? So that's a problem. So getting here, sorry. Oh, must be not working so well. Okay. Yeah, so you can't, it's difficult to prove your ownership if something's stolen. If somebody just found your item, they couldn't get it back to you, right? And then another item, let's just face it, you guys have see those warranty cards that still are put in products now? I mean, how long has that been the case? Since probably 1900? I think we can do better than that, because no one fills those out, right? And manufacturers, they really want to know information about you and how you use a product, how it breaks, what features are good, what are not so good. Plus, they want to keep you as a customer later, right? So again, we have basically an app that lets you seamlessly register your items in case they get stolen, and if you need service later on. So, so here's my vision: that whenever you're at Best Buy or Home Depot, you're buying a tool, you're buying a TV or a laptop, right? When you buy it, it's registered. You used your credit card, identifies you, right? When you scan the UPC to get the price code, you also scan the serial number to get the product identification. So that unique item is registered to you and only you. Maybe later, if it shows up in a crime scene, somebody knows how to get back to you. If it shows up in a pawn shop, you can recover it. But then the manufacturer can contact you to keep you sold in the future. So yeah, see that would happen. So I've got, see an app that would, if you didn't scan it right at the cash register, you'd have an app that would make that work. And we're just texting a picture of that item from your phone. You guys can try this one actually right now. If you have something you want to register, you can just text a photo of the serial number to this number, and that'll register it in the True Owner database, just right then. That's all you need is a picture from your phone that says it was in your possession of the item that you're trying to register, right? We'll translate that, put that in a national database for you. So I see that there would be, in the future, really less theft, better recovery, and ability to solve crimes, but also that manufacturers actually come up with better products based on the real consumer data that they have about how the product is used, maybe how it fails. So we have business model looking, to start out with, to get traction with consumers. Either there's, I guess, some debate about what the price should be. Probably might be able to get $4.99. Maybe it needs to be negative value. Probably some work to do there. But right now it's premium, basically. You can get started just like anyone here. If you just took a picture of an item and sent it from your phone to that text message, you're registered. On the manufacturer side, you want to see a fee for that data that is valuable to them in the form of dashboard fees and connection fees to consumers. Right now, just looking at kind of B2C aspect, getting folks to register their items for a small fee. So here's actually why I'm here. I have a really ask. I am looking for a co-founder. Co-founders meetup. What would that person look like? They'd be a developer with some Rails background would be ideal. Maybe some mobile app experience. Be able to help me migrate from my Docker containers that I have now to another platform, but also have an entrepreneurial mindset with a business acumen. Somebody obviously you have to click with. So maybe you're the person, maybe you know somebody. That's the main reason I'm here today, to find that person. Now I also need some marketing services, so I'm willing to be sold. I need a video. just to kind of help sell the item, because as we just heard, the statistics of how many items are video now, and also better social presence, and someone to help with the actual maintenance of all that, actually getting all the media out on a regular basis through the social platforms.
Perfect timing for that.
Questions? Yes.
First of all, I just want to say I really liked your opening story. I've been in that situation. I
Right.
understand the problem.
Right.
My question is, so I'm a tech-savvy thief. What's to stop me from stealing your bike and taking a picture of the serial number?
Not much, but how many tech-savvy thieves really do that? Yeah, and so I would just say preemptively register it, right? That's what you should have done in the first place. Yes.
Have you thought about integrating this service to happen at the point of sale?
Yes, that's the vision, that you're at Best Buy, you're at Home Depot. Like, I don't know if there are any contractors here, but contractors get tools stolen off the job site. I mean, it's a really big problem. So yeah, just basically, it would happen seamlessly right at the point of sale.
You have the front end solution down. It makes sense if you can get people to do it. I get it. How do you solve the back end where someone steals something and goes to the pawn shop? Do pawn shops have a system where when they check in a product, they check some database for serial numbers? Or?
Yeah, so my target market is really kind of bicycles, but definitely here in Austin. Many municipalities, and Austin is one of them, requires the pawn shop owner to enter the serial number when they get the item, right? So this when you register your item and it goes into our database, it's integrated with Leads Online, which connects police to the pawn shops. Police then have a mechanism to audit pawn shops. So it's basically a third party that I've partnered with that basically, if it goes in this database, it will get flagged when it shows up at the pawn shop.
Very nice.
Yes.
I have a question about your target audience is people trying to protect their bikes. Essentially, if somebody steals a bike for their own use, doesn't sell it to a pawn shop, they don't have to show up the serial number, so your bike will still be stolen. As a user of a bicycle, it kind of takes away the peace of mind from me, knowing that somebody can still steal my bike just to be riding it or give it to their own kid.
Sure.
How will you address that concern from the end user of your system?
Well, I can have to choose like strategically where you want to go, but I've definitely done a lot of thinking about partnering with tracking device makers. Basically, that's another kind of another item here is to sell targeted products on the site, so they know that you've got a bike that's registered. Oh, would you like to buy trackers? Would you like to buy this other bike safety device? That kind of thing. Things that are targeted with them. Yeah, looking at GPS trackers, it may be embedded in something that's not visible, so that even the more savvy thief wouldn't just find that and throw it away.
What do you use for your connection between the consumer when they purchase something and the serial numbers and stuff like this? Because you're using the credit card when you swipe it, or what are you using?
That'd be the
Because
first.
credit cards can change over. Yeah.
Right. Well, if you change your credit card, you'd have to re-register. But when you use your credit card, that identifies you as a true owner member by that item, by your card number, and then it's scanned, the UPC and the serial number at the
How does
cash.
that credit card information get updated to your database as far as what my name and stuff like this is to my credit card number?
Well, it's basically the true owner member has to do that. Right.
Okay.
And we're out of time for questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, now we have, you're fifth. Yes, you are last. Kevin from, oh my God, I can't read this. I can read the name. Kevin?
Yeah.
Yes, sweet. Number 4. Monix is done. Greek time.
Yeah, Greek time.
Sweet.
Greek time.
This is gonna be great.
There's a PDF.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, cool.
Is this not working for y'all? No? But it's working. Yeah, so it's the bottom button if you want to switch.
Bottom button?
Yes. Worked.
Okay.
What if you, yeah. So.
Okay, I get it. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin. I'm the founder of Great Time. I'm a loyal, authentic, laser-focused, persistent, passionate, goal-crushing entrepreneur. I'm here to tell you about Gold Time. Our idea originated from fraternities, and we realized that it can go to other organizations outside of fraternities. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Gold Time. So yes, so the problems we solve are accountability, and accountability with management accomplishing their business goals, and then also with social media keeping users away from their personal goals, or also them attending huge organizational events. And lastly, there's no easy way to organize your individual goals, your multi-level goals, and lastly, your individual and multi-level goals together. So our solution provides a way to save time and money with organizing your operations with accountability. Then we'll also make money by promoting events and promoting your goals. And lastly, aligning goals together by integrating each other's goals together. So this is our future projections and our vision. We basically took together about 5 successful companies, including Uber, Instagram, and other successful companies, and basically took all their marketing strategies and took all their user projection, of their growth rates, and combined it all into one. I know Instagram, their growth said they had 9 million users by 11 months. We're saying we're going to have it by 18. So here's our business model. We're going to have revenue begin in about year 3. We're going to have 50 cents per transaction, and this will lead to $3,650 transactions per 10 years with a lifetime value of $7,200. And then with 1 million users, we'll have revenue of 182.5 million for 1 year. So this is our status for our traction to date. We don't have currently any funding, so we're just doing word of mouth right now. So we have 110 users signed up. We have a prototype that's been tested for 2 months with 25 users, and now we're doing a little conversion for our framework with Delaware company. The business plan is established, that's constantly being updated. Application is protected by copyright, pre-launch stage, and our 18-month plan begins after a C-round investment. So we're asking for a 500K C-round investment. We're expecting to get 2 million users by Series A and 100% total success. Thank you. I've condensed 30 slides into 5 slides. And, my name is Kevin Kochin. You can check out my email or check our testimonials out at greek-time.com. There's about 20 testimonials there. Any questions? Yes.
What if I'm looking at your pitch and I don't believe you? And I can't tell if that 100% success you were kidding or you were serious.
I was serious, but I was definitely serious. Yeah. I'm goal crushing, 100% success, man. So yes. Yes. I kind of condensed like 30 slides into 5. So you can tell that my problem solution slide is very wordy. It's like 2 slides put into, so.
Can you go back to the first slide?
Yeah, thank you.
This one, yes. Second, yes.
Yeah.
So problems totally exist, and so there's so many ways to do this, right? You could train people. You could make a web platform where managers control stuff from the top down, or you could have employees manage their own goals.
Yeah.
There's a problem, but I can't understand which segment of that you're targeting. And since I don't know, I don't believe you that you can actually solve that problem, because productivity is big personal thing.
Yeah.
And for company-wise, you can't really quantify it, so I just want to learn more about the science behind this, or where you were getting your information.
Yeah. So I'm getting my information from like TechCrunch or Crunchbase, literally looking at their stats, looking at all the data, like how many users do they have, how many, what they get for their fundraising, at what time period, and that type of thing. And then also, so how am I going to market this thing? Well, I'm part of a fraternity, multiple fraternities now. So I have a great network for national widespread. There's 9 million total there's 9 million members in fraternity or Greek life world. So there's like 9 million users right there. Yeah.
They're not accomplishing business goals, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, this is the catch. They're an organization. We're accomplishing organization goals. So that's could be for profit or for non-profit. And yeah. Yes. First row.
Well, I got two comments, and I was in a fraternity, so don't take this too negatively or whatever, but unless this is a very specific Greek solution, which I don't see that it clearly is, I think you're misguided to call it Greek time, unless you could somehow connect the values of fraternity, which could be they throw a great party, or they turn into great salespeople maybe, which I'm in sales, or somehow have a social connection that others don't have like that. That is completely unclear in how that connects to goal achievement.
Yeah, so
I might share that value with you or not, but it's totally unclear.
Yeah. So
it seems like a misconnection there.
Yeah. So that's the reason why we're calling it goal time. We were doing like some secret testing to hide the bigger picture of goal time. So we realized fraternities are multi-level organizations. We can guide what you value as an individual. You go through recruitment. You're like, oh, I fit in this fraternity, so that's my goal. I want to join a fraternity, but which one do I fit into, type of a thing. But then you can take the multi-level organizations and be like, oh, we're going to BNI, where that's an organization with sub-organizations, and then they can guide and refer each other. So it looks like the bigger idea of taking fraternities and then going to other organizations.
If you were trying to have a solution that managed and tracked, say, multi-level marketing companies and fraternities in some way, or if it was recruiting based, and what's a good fit for me, like those sound closer to a clear proposition, but I don't see who buys this to solve what problem. I don't see that at all at this point.
Yeah. Again, we condensed it to 30 slides to about 7 slides.
It seems a bit broad.
No, there's definitely a niche. There's a broad target market, but we're focusing small niches and segmenting them out.
Last question.
Yes.
You made a comment there, a 50-cent transaction. There was no clarification, at least for me, what that transaction was that you were charging 50 cents for, and how.
So yes, let me just tell you a quick story. I see this problem every single day. This really quick story. So my mom was like, I need to get my palm tree cut. I was like, I can't do it. I'm really busy, right? So I was like, but my friend's father does landscaping. So I texted my friend. My friend texted his father, and then his father can then connect to my mother, and then he got business. I was able to provide the goal that's being guided. We all got 50. So there's a transaction that took place, and we took 50 cents from that transaction.
Cool. Thank you.
Jason. Cool. These companies not named?
Yeah.
Cool. Wait, let me. Slideshow. Wait, start. And. Does it work for you?
No, which one did
The bottom one?
the bottom one?
Yes.
Cool. Hello, I'm Jason Carrier, and I'm here to introduce my idea. It's not quite a company yet. It doesn't have a name. We're hoping we can get your help with that.
I'd also like to introduce my team to Capital Factory. I'm sure this isn't going to be the only pitch that we do here. I've got Chad over here. This is my design guy. He's going to be passing some stuff out here in a moment. And I've got Patrick in the back, my sales guy. A little bit about myself. I've traveled all over the world. I'm a military veteran and an IT guy. I've been doing it for about 15 years. I was also a government contractor for a while. And the most important part here is I'm a grad student over at UT in technology commercialization. It's basically a grad degree in tech startups. So we're going to be leveraging that a lot for this idea and kind of developing it as we go through the program. Before I go to the next slide, how many people are actually concerned about climate change? Anybody? Okay, so I am too. Anybody been following what's going on with the G20 summit that just happened or the Paris Climate Accord? Kind of big
Real
stuff.
news or fake news?
Yeah. So, and then last thing, anybody familiar with what's going on in the marijuana industry? We're going to relate those two things together. Yeah. So right now the agriculture industry consumes 70% of the fresh water that we're pulling out of the environment. Only 5% of that water actually goes into the produce that we actually consume. The rest of that water carries all the pesticides and fertilizers that have been put on those crops down into the environment. It goes out into wherever the water is running to and ends up causing other problems. In addition to that, getting all the produce from the farm to the actual table where it's being consumed creates 7 billion tons of greenhouse gases every year. So our solution is to come up with a system that will actually change the source of the food from the farm and put it in people's homes. So going from farm to table is now walking across your living room. So I did a bunch of research on solving this problem and creating a system to do this in an automated way and found out that quite a few other people have actually already tried to tackle the problem, but nobody's really gotten market penetration yet, obviously because there's not a lot of people growing in their homes yet. So that's what we're trying to do. Some of the devices that have already been created but haven't really hit market. This one is City Crop. It's very close to the aesthetic that I was going for. You'll notice that the purple light that's coming from the top is kind of optimized for plant growth. And it's a very aesthetically pleasing design. You can see the plants. It's something that women wouldn't mind having in their living room, which is, I think, something that we definitely need to overcome. This is one that's more targeted towards the marijuana market. You can notice it looks like a little refrigerator. It's a completely sealed environment, so you don't have to worry about the smell so much. These are just competitors that I want to take ideas from. This one is an open source robot, basically, that will help you with pulling weeds and harvesting your plants, or say you've got insects, it'll go in and target pesticides in that specific area, and it's open source. That's something that down the road we're hoping to integrate in the solutions that we create. This is the path to market that we're planning to take. We're going to start with developing a cloud platform that all of our devices will be connecting into, and we're going to be doing a garden controller, which is not a complete turnkey solution. It's something that will automate grow rooms that already exist. So it'll have spaces for all the different lights and pumps and sensors to plug into. It'll aggregate that data, talk up to the cloud, and then make intelligent decisions about what environmental variables to change in that grow space, given the genetics that are trying to grow inside of it. This is the traction that we've made so far. I have a relationship started with a local startup called Wigwag. They're kind of an automation specialist. We're taking one of their products that they're phasing out and retooling it a little bit, rebranding it to become that garden controller that I was talking about. We've got the cloud platform started. I have an AWS developer that's on my team. And we're using the MSCC program for guidance and consulting, helping us kind of flesh out this idea before we actually go to market or really build it. So right now, the big thing that I'm looking for is helping to name our baby. So Chad and Patrick are going to be handing out some cards that there's a link on the bottom to a survey that talks about some different names that we've come up with. So we'd really love to get your feedback on those names and kind of rank order them for us and tell us which ones you like, which ones you don't like, what you like about them, what you don't like about them. And we're also looking for seed funding. We don't have a lot of specifics on financials yet, but that information will be coming shortly. And we want to build as many collaborative relationships with local Austin-based businesses as we can. So if anybody has ideas, products, and services that they want to kind of work together with us on, or maybe integrate our cloud technology into your products, we'd be more than interested to listen. And we're also looking for early adopters, so people who would be interested in having this in their home.
Thank you.
Perfect.
going to focus more on the software side.
Okay,
And
yes.
eventually, yeah, we want to work with other companies, such as the ones that I put up there, and we want to focus on the software and automation side.
Yeah.
But we are going to do
Hardware
hardware to do proof of concept on what we're doing and that our cloud platform
Yeah,
works.
that hardware would be a pretty significant undertaking, considering what's already on the market. It seems like it would make sense to create that software that would manage, automate the AI, everything like that for specific crops or intelligence.
That's exactly what we're
That's
doing.
a really good starting point.
So, you're giving out these polls, and one time when I was looking for feedback for a tech stupid idea I was working on for graduating students, I went to UT and had like 2 gallons of coffee, and then a sign said free Amazon gift card, only one, and got like 220 responses in 24 hours. So a way for you to get quick feedback is to go somewhere like that and do that.
Makes sense. I figured this would be a good place to get initial feedback for names because, you know, all entrepreneurs here. So, yeah, that's why I'm asking you specifically.
Yeah.
What does this cloud software actually manage then?
So it's going to manage when the lights come on, when the lights go off, what the temperature in the room needs to be, what the humidity in the room needs to be, what the CO2 level in the room needs to be, and all based off of where that plant is at in its growth cycle. So
How does that monitor know where the plant is?
So there's going to be cameras, and the cameras are going to look at the leaves, and it knows the genetics that's supposed to be in there. And we're going to be developing software that will look at the leaves and be able to tell based off of what it's supposed to be where it's at in its cycle, and it can actually tell off the coloration of the leaves whether that plant is healthy or not.
For marijuana or all sorts?
All plants. Well, not all, that would be unrealistic, but we're going to choose a subset of plants that will grow well in this system, and then basically have a little app so you can just select what you're trying to plant, and it will.
I'm not a big pot smoker,
Yeah.
but I believe the reason a growing system that's vertical like that works is because the value of pot per cubic, whatever it is, amount of space.
Yeah, that's a really
High.
good question. Yeah, so there's been a lot of changes that have happened in the LED market. Yeah, the cost to do this stuff, if you're looking at data from like 10 years ago, it's cost prohibitive to grow anything but pot, essentially, in a system like this. But there's been a lot of advances in LED lighting in the last 10 years. There's been a lot of advances in cloud automation, and the cost for a lot of these things has gone down substantially. And then the cost for organic food has actually risen. So when you take all that into account, it's actually, we're probably going to be able to maybe not beat, but most likely meet the cost that you would pay at like a Whole Foods or something like that.
Celery?
Correct. Yeah.
Last question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So help me connect the dots. At the beginning of the presentation, you said 70% of the water is somehow contaminated and sip through somewhere.
Yeah.
Connect the dots for me. How is yours?
Yeah. So do you get how the traditional farming works? You basically have a large plot of land, and you're pouring tons of water on it, and that water is just going to seep down into the ground. So all the chemical fertilizers and pesticides that you're putting on that plant is going to go down with the water. And most of the water is not actually consumed by the plant. It goes down into the ground. It's 5% actually goes into the plant. So with our system, it's a hydroponic system, and all the water is contained. And because it's a contained system, there's no evaporation. Because it's a contained system, there's no drainage that's going down into the soil. So by doing it this way, you can control what's happening with that water. And so the only time the water comes out of the system is when you harvest, essentially.
So you are creating the hardware that will contain the water.
We're going to do both initially, but long term it's going to be more on the software side, and we'll be having collaborative partnerships with other companies who are creating the hardware. We're basically going to develop reference hardware first.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jason.
So those were 5 pitches. Thank you for coming. We've got about 30 minutes to network. Please talk to whoever you want to. Don't want to talk to anyone, that's fine too. But before we finish, any quick feedback on what you liked, didn't like? The fireside chat, yes, no. I won't get offended. I'm gonna get super offended. Is that a model we should look at more in the future?
Yes.
Oh wow, sweet. Much better, cool.
Are you going to moderate?
Yeah, no. I'll take that as an insult. And more batteries. I need more batteries. Sorry.
Different moderator then?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want a different moderator?
You're getting booted already.
I'm getting booted. I should take more money from this. Okay, so thank you for the feedback, even though it really hurt my feelings. And I will see you guys next month. Or someone else will, I don't know. Thank you.
So we're all JavaScript and
But then again, it's
all React.
probably somebody has a lot of money and spend it from their shop and their manufacturing and equip patch with stuff and grow some mountains. This the most problem I had that was the one of the ideas is when you talk about if we start to go get something that you can buy here is No, it's $700. Yeah, like it's pretty much like a price. Like you can do the job and just squeeze in the package for something. This is it's like an existing product. This is now an existing product. But it's still going to be a problem. How many people see the facts before? Have you ever studied that? I'm a person. The white life, rather than just like another thing that I can see about this idea is like you kind of throw it for just this, and then you kind of see the results. That's something that my other special flights, one of the better they can go there. You will be surprised. Well, maybe you won't. But wait, like have like a little like nice things. Like they'll partially not so much, but they'll design all these other sort of things. They're but I think also your exactly right about the software. This is very
It's a huge problem. Like, yeah, and I would love to pitch this game.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get you my card.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And there's a little free guide provided. Check it out.
Alright, little cheat sheet. Good. Is that printed?
What's that?
Is that printed?
No, it's not printed. Oh yeah, so my email changed. It was now it's really after like a week or two.
Sounds good.
Alright, thank you. Yeah, Kevin. Nice meeting you, man.
Also, designing something But also, like now that now it's you know anybody
Interesting. So, what's the format of this? I missed the first part. Besides the keynote and the pictures, what's it?
Networking keynote.
And how do these people get to present? What's the deal there? They pay?
Pay about 12 bucks. The guy in front runs the whole thing. Depending on the place.
What comes out of this for liquid group pitches, though?
No, this is a strategy.
Funding or just sort of strategizing or practice?
Feedback, depending on who we have as guests, some investor interest, but at this stage they are nowhere near it. Like, no one here is they can get in front of an investor and be taken seriously. Like, there was a guy who I know presented here and got money for like 8 months. It was just stepping stone. I would say this is a stepping stone for sure.
In part, in terms of the presentation as well as what they got in place.
Yeah, I wish I could cover it, but I'm not an audience manager.
Yeah, I could have gone.
Yeah, I know.
I better stop that.
Yeah. So we're holding that event beginning of
podcasters together. And we're trying to get Adam Curry and Noah Kagan.
Podcasting meetup or something else?
A panel. Yeah, so it's a big, and I'll invite you. Come attend, meet the people. I'll give you details, but right now we're thinking 25th.
This one?
Yes.
Good job, Moby.
Thank you.
Good job.
Sir? It is going to be the 25th, probably.
Are you going to do the next one? Is there another one next one?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet. If I might start volunteering for another meetup.
Oh, is that right?
You're asking like, is there, I don't know.
Like what?
I don't know, there's startup grind or something like that.
They contacted you, they were like, hey, you didn't MC it or what?
No, I don't know. I'm going to the first one I've ever been to Wednesday.
Startup grind.
Startup grind, yeah.
It's a meetup.
It's a meetup. No, it's...
Where's it based out of? Where do they do it?
They are at Google Fiberspace. It's Brett Hurt, who is who started HomeAway.
All right.
And now he's doing data.world.
Doing what?
Data.world. It's like a Wikipedia for data sets.
Should I go to that?
I think it'd be useful.
I made plans for Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, Moby, you should have told me.
I know.
I mean, like, literally 5 minutes ago.
Then go to that. Just find me on Facebook or something, and I'll let you know what the other one is. Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
I'm gonna head out, man.
Have you met Kenan?
No, Greg. Hey, I'm Miles. Nice to meet you. Greg? Greg Davis. Greg, what do you do? Sales consultant. Oh, God, that's what I need. I'm a developer. What's that? I'm a developer. Yeah, I'm a web developer. And I'm kind of a one-man band, or I have been forever. I'm not like an entrepreneur in the sense of all these people. I've been for the past, I don't know. What are you working on now? Years? Good question. I started a product for customers. Okay, so I have a bunch of apartment guides, like online apartment guides, mainly in small markets, but kind of underserved by big guys. Print or online? We started in print, but now online. Yeah. Purely online. Actually, not in Beaumont. We still have a print apartment guide in Beaumont, Texas. And a lot of my owners were local owners, and they had like properties, like kind of low rent properties. And they didn't have websites, so I made basically, it's like Wix, except for targeted for apartment complexes. Okay. Real easy, simple back end. What's your rent? What's your apartment name? And then it puts more on. Really easily. Integrate with a couple APIs to make it so it's not a pain in the ass. So you just charge them like a membership fee? Yeah. And I built it for them probably about, I finished it about 3 months ago. I just started.
That's here on the website. The guide itself, how are you tracking customers with that guide?
Oh, with the guides? The guides are completely different. It was just a lot of my customers had no website. And then we're talking all big, nice properties. And the reason they didn't have them is they were hard and the owner was overwhelmed and things like that. I don't need that. I don't want to do that. So I made this for them and sold it to all them. And I was wondering if I should sell it to them. It's up, it's running.
It wasn't.
It's working. Really? But my problem is sales. I went around and I sold it to people that I knew. I knew this rancher that owns my apartment complex. So what does it go for? $50 a month. Yeah. And with a commitment of 1 year, and then just kind of builds after that.
And it's an interface, so they've still got to do the work to put the pictures off and the name.
Yeah, but they have to do as little work as possible.
So you do actually work for them too, or just purely?
No. They pick a template, right? Yep. They pick their colors and they upload their pictures. So generally it takes them about 5 minutes.
They get to put their name and their address in.
Yes. Onboarding hasn't been too hard. Yeah.
They get it set up in about 10 minutes. Whereas if they were having to do a website, even with a templated solution, even with a Squarespace solution, it would be beyond the scope of what they want.
Does it have a form of recapture?
Yeah, it does. So that, but it's very simple. It's a very simple. Here's who's contacted you.
Email capture though, or phone number capture possibly?
Email. Yeah, it's a web form.
No sign up and get 10% off or sign up.
They can do that. They can run specials on it. Absolutely. But a lot of them don't do that. A lot of them haven't been using it that long. But yes, there is that as well. Mainly what they want is a brochure website online. They don't really care what it looks like. I hate to minimize the product, but they don't.
So it's $50 a month per site, so the guy that has 9 is paying $9.
Oh, yes.
How many do you have?
I thought you were talking about the previous photo.
I have 10 people using it right now.
More than 10 sites though, or 15 sites?
No, 10 sites right now. Sorry, I have 10 sites right now. I just started selling it, like I said, about 2 years ago. I devote 90 minutes a day to do it.
What happened here with this
But my
guy?
problem is sales. Once I go cycle through all of the people that I know, based on what I've done so far, I'll probably wind up with about 50 to 60 sites up.
Yeah, it's an easy sale, I believe.
It is if you find it at the right time.
It's a matter of determining what your cost is and what you'd like to value the customer is.
Yeah.
And deciding what you can invest to get there. And if you need to be bootstrapped enough for the sale to be covered in the first, I can't imagine it would make sense to not pay more than the first month's value of the commission.
Yeah.
And until the sales cost. I can't imagine. It's a year obligation that your collection rate is whatever it's going to be.
Right.
So you've got to finance something at some point. Yeah. Or maybe finance a little bit and incrementally get there. It's like it's a small trade that you see. It's probably very hard to get salesperson to be paid by residual. You're going to want a higher percentage of the net lifetime value in the first year. You're not getting people to pay up front, or do you have an offer?
Well, no, I actually, some people want to pay up front.
Because they don't have
So yes, some people do want to. From what I found, that's about 30% so far.
Well, and the more you automate that, it's sort of hard to tell. So if you look at somebody feeling like they're going to try something out for $50, I'm not going to figure out the data, but still, in their mind, it just feels different. It's different, basically. It's not you may get able to.
You know what I've heard in the apartment? I'm sorry, I cut you off. I've been skipping very few comments. Generally, it's really not. There's so many. Their source of income is pretty steady. A lot of people.
The advantage of that longer term monthly value is you run it perpetually.
Yes.
And you can set it and forget it.
They don't want to.
It's harder to renew someone if you only charge a yearly fee all at once. It takes sales effort at that point.
Exactly.
You can have an automatic renewal, but at some point they're going to be like, oh, that was $500, $600.
Right. Exactly.
What's that for again?
Right.
Oh, did we really use that? If it's $50 a month, the fear of loss is big enough that I don't want to demand that either. So, yeah, you might want to play with that pricing model a bit. You have to, but all right. Ultimately, it kind of depends on what you have to invest in a inside sales type process. It could be done relatively cheaply, I think, with I think it's a $10,000 to $20,000 expense. That's what it comes down to. Right. If I were to help you with that, it'd be a couple grand in my time.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, it's not a ton of work for you to help you.
hiring somebody, for 3 to 6 months to figure out where that's going to go. You don't need a $100,000 or $50,000 a year salesperson. What you need is $25,000 or $30,000 $35,000, something like that.
My problem is finding potential customers, right? Like, I pulled from my pool of people that I knew, which was nice, and that was great. I just wasn't going to get me so far. I'm going to run out of that in a couple of months here.
Where are these people advertising now?
Okay, a lot of these people count their website as advertising. Advertising is something you do in the newspaper, and this is basically printing brochures.
No, I understand.
Right. Well, that's
what I'm saying, like, the work to figure out and research is very limited. You've got a number to the place. Getting home the owner is probably not hard. A lot of them are direct back owners. And figuring out if there's a website is already 5 minutes ago. The name, the address, what comes up. Or even just, you may find in this class of apartment, in this city, the average rent is X. If we go to 60%, maybe it's a sweet spot. The other thing is worth experimenting with. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. But I would imagine the most expensive apartment that doesn't have a website is where you go to.
Right.
Seems simple enough. But even in terms
or
of
has one that they don't like. Like a lot of them they have made in 2003.
That's a different story though. With what we're talking about, the only market is no website. If you're talking about a web service firm, completely different. Someone that has an existing website, I think the premise of what you offer is, hey, this is something you can't use it before. Maybe they use Wix, maybe not, or maybe they had I think Register or GoDaddy have some automated tools.
They do.
Something like that. So you're kind of saying this is specific to Apartmentsville, and maybe simpler, similar cost,
that's what I'm selling.
It's geared towards that. The Wix site is not set up for apartments. But if someone has gone beyond that, or has a site up, I can't imagine they've spent either enough time where $500 is not enough to charge, or it's a service or it's spent a lot more money.
The problem with most of them, is a lot of them is what I would find when I go and talk to them is that they have a site, it's up, and they'll go, oh yeah, we have that, we forgot to update it. We lost the login information. We don't know how to do it anymore. It's there, but it's got old pictures, and the rents are 5 years old at this point.
How does someone update yours? Why is it so easy? Why do they remember the login?
Because our back end, what I don't bothers them a lot, and reminds them to check in, right? It's a little.
The better way to scale that, the better way to scale that is you add value. This is marketing. You add value through the blogs and information you send out. And I already have some ideas about the real things if the trends in rent are going up or down, or if the maintenance situation is this or this, certainly the ones with trends, if prices are changing, reminding them to go update their numbers is a good thing. But I think there's an opportunity okay, now we've got a customer base. At least we got them all on board. The site and all that. The add-on is more of a direct management of something like that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think that you raise a good point that a lot of these sites are. A lot of them have sites and they go, oh, gosh, what? Maybe some manager 4 years ago set that up. I don't know. Right. The thing is, they don't. In other words,
we are going to be heading out of this room in about 5 minutes. You can go to the bar downstairs or somewhere else.
We're going to call you and ask you what you're renting. That's a different story. If that's the VIP program they buy into, it pays you to really make sure that happens. If not, it'll be too easy for them to say, oh, is that what the email you were telling me was? I don't know, spam, or I got thrown in spam.
Right.
Yeah, whatever. So, I think that's a different thing than the Wix of apartments.
Yeah. It is.
That's a level 2 service.
That's a level 2 service. Yeah. But I like that. That's a good idea.
So, yeah, I mean, I think you get started by penetrating just some volume of customers that don't have sites yet. If you own and build your own, I think.
Yeah.
Without knowing,
but yes, chasing them down. Right, that's a full-time job.
You kind of back into some numbers. Generally, in a lot of businesses, somewhere between 25% and a third of revenue can go to sales. Or gross profit, I should say. Which I would say that's, there's no marginal cost to this per se. Yeah, it's so, a little hard to say if it's a $600 sale or if it's $100. You know, you're talking about $100, $50 to $100. You've got a commission of someone above at $12 an hour to $50 an hour. And the close rate's got to work out. That's why it's a little bit of an experiment. Or you just dip into the money a little bit more. Either way, each of those closes will be I don't know what your I don't know what your propensity to spend money on this is, but it sounds like there's enough way to do it. It's better than the 6 things I saw. I thought the register your property was interesting.
I thought it was interesting,
but I think he wasn't clear on the customer. So by going to and what the benefit was to the store, the manufacturer may want you all the way to get the warranty.
And I've got to see how it's going. I don't know. There was an like, we're going to that's fine.
That's a whole other problem.
I'm sure you will take that.
I mean, American Airlines is one of
yeah, exactly.
So let's get real about it.
Exactly. I mean, that's a cool thing to say. But
now, bigger part of this, Scott, is to say there's every texting and calendar.
Hey guys, can you do me a favor?
It's only
please take your trash, your trash, and start moving out to the outer room and the bar downstairs. I got a card for you. Do you have a card?
Good seeing you, man. So was that actually? I don't have one. Okay, cool. I'm gonna write that.
I emailed, I didn't read something you replied to. I replied to your reply first.
Did you want a video of the heading out?
Yeah.
You guys were looking for John. You were looking for a JavaScript developer.
So what, when you say you have the apartment guys in these certain locations,
okay, yeah.
how did you guys find this? Okay, about 17 years ago, I had to get back to school.
React.js. Back in Node.js with Express or MongoDB. Those are technologies that I can't help you with, but maybe in the future.
Thanks for having me.
Can we see pictures of this somewhere? Video? Is there a video? It'll be on CoFounder Austin's Facebook.
No, it'll be on the TechMap website.
Awesome. Thanks,
But
guys.
email me and I'll send you a link for it. So we'll post it on YouTube.
Thanks so much.
Good luck on your new journey.
Yeah, man, you too.
Should be fun.
Thanks so much for all your feedback.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
And the opportunity.
Yeah, definitely appreciate you letting me pitch.
Hey, no problem. How'd it go?
It went really well. Man, I was like, no matter how you plan to do it, you always they always say like, oh, you do it more and more times.
So
Like,
it's monthly?
That's why I let him do the MC because I'm like, oh, man.
yeah.
I have to have like a couple of you before I get out.
Exactly. Same. But hey, man, definitely appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Let me know.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll definitely write you.
Johan, you need something from me?
Pick up that package. And I think we're done. Cool. We just need to.
Send them downstairs.
Yeah, there you go. Send them downstairs.
Okay, cool.
Then